All right, y'all. First and foremost, give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the son of Hamashiach, some call YHWH, Yeshua, Yehoshua. We mostly know as Jesus Christ. The Lord will build up. He will preserve an adversary. He will build up an adversary that come against you. And we finna read about King Solomon, who the Lord built up some adversaries because of his unrepentant heart, because his heart wasn't like his father David, because he let those many strange women turn his heart from the Lord and start worshiping these other deities and building shrines and altars up in gardens and sacrificing under every willow tree, every high place. The Most High preserved adversaries to come against them. And even if you go to Judges 2:3, where the Most High said, man, you know what? I'm not going to drive those nations out from among you. They're going to be a thorn and a snare unto you. And before the end, I think Exodus 34, I think it's a couple of places before the end, Deuteronomy 7:16, where the Most High told you to drive out those nations. Get them out of there. It's going to be problematic. Get all of them up out of there. And I was just looking at a map of, and that's something y'all can look into. Look at a map at the nations that were there: the Perizzites, the Girgashites, the Jebusites, the Hittites, the Hevizites, the Jebusites, Canaanites, Philistines, that were in that land before Israel. And he told you, drive those people out. And of course we didn't do that. Of course we'll defeat them. We'll put them under tribute. We'll try to keep some of them. That's what got Saul into some kind of trouble. But the Lord will raise up an adversary. All right, once he done struck his nerve, like he's long suffering and patient and merciful, but once you done struck his nerve, he's mighty, and he'll bring down judgment. And so what we're gonna read here, we'll read what the problem was. All right, 1 Kings 11:1 says, but King Solomon loved many strange women together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites, of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, you shall not go in to them, neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn away. And that's the problem. This is why you don't do it. This is the reason. All right. That's the purpose of the law. For surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon cleaved unto these in love. And he had 700 wives, princes, and 300 concubines. And his wives turned away his heart. And it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods once he got old. And that's the thing. That's when the problem was going to happen. A lot of y'all dealing with these multiple wives. You in your youth and you're strong, but once them little blue pills ain't working no more, and your testosterone then got lowered. Solomon was old, and those you ain't gonna be able to do nothing with the wives, man. You ain't gonna be able to control those sisters. Y'all be mindful of that, man. Y'all get yourselves into this stuff. And be mindful also that when you get old, those wives turned away his heart after other gods. And his heart was not perfected with the Lord, his God, as his heart, as was the heart of David, his father. For Solomon went after Ashtaroth, the goddess of the Zidonians, and Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord and went not fully after the Lord as did his father. All right, that's the problem. All right. What well, let's drop down to verse 9. And the Lord was angry with Solomon because his heart was turned from the Lord God of Israel, which had appeared unto him twice, and had commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after the other gods. And, just back, going back to what I was just talking about the getting old. When King David got old too, they tried to bring him a young thing. And, he didn't respond well. And at that point, them young hungry princes was like, nah, now was my time. He threw. It's over with for him. But just be mindful of that. I've never seen it. That's one of those things too, is that I just never seen it old. None of the models are old that we look at in modern time. I've seen polygamy done a lot of different ways of, I'm not gonna say a lot of different ways, but I've seen at least 3 or 4 examples of it, with my own eyes around these people, but not when they were old. And it was problems even in their youth, but when they get older, it's gonna be hard to control some of that back and forth, some of that, some problems can come into that. And maybe, before you jump into that, you talk to somebody, but I don't know who you gonna talk to, but we'll get those examples soon enough. we'll get some of those examples soon enough. It's still kind of a useful movement. Maybe ISUPK, but even them, they brothers are still kind of, in their 60s. They still kind of, they're not old. They're not old, man. But where were we at? Verse 11. But we'll get examples maybe another 10-15 years from now, to see some of the issues of getting old, situations, those women take over, and who's there to control them, and who's there, like, do you still have that might? Do they still reverence you like that? Wherefore the Lord, verse 11, wherefore the Lord said unto Solomon, for as much as this is done of thee, and thou hast not kept my covenant, my statutes, which I've commanded thee, I will surely rend the kingdom from thee, and will give it to thy servant. Notwithstanding, in those days I will not do it for David's thy father's sake, but will rend it out of the hand of thy son. Howbeit I will not rend it away all the kingdom, but I will give one tribe to thy son for David my servant's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen. And the Lord stirred up an adversary. This is what we wanted to get to, y'all. All right, we just had to deal with the reasoning. I hope I ain't lost y'all. I know I lose a lot of y'all the first 5 minutes. But those that are hungry, those that are meek, those that are trying to seek their word, those that love the word, I know y'all still here with me. And the Lord stirred up an adversary unto Solomon, Hadad the Edomite. He stirred up Hadad the Edomite. He was of the king's seed in Edom. He was from a royal lineage. For it came to pass when David was in Edom, and Joab, the captain of the host, was going up to bury the slain, after they had smitten every male in Edom. David conquered Edom, and Joab and Israel are down there, and they are just out there killing every male they can find of Edom. For 6 months did Joab remain there with all of Israel, until they had cut off every male in Edom. And every male, like I say, all of Israel, every Israelite wasn't there. Did they kill every male in Edom? No, it ain't kill every single one. And we'll see some preserved here. So you got to be careful with, some of these words. I know it's, it said all. That mean all. You got to be careful with that. Again, hyperbole, exaggerated speech. Joker coming up, man, I went to school, man, I slapped all them jokers. He ain't slapped everybody. He might have slapped a couple of them jokers maybe once or two, and then the other jokers looked around. He ain't slapped everybody though. But anyway, that Hadad fled, he and certain Edomites of his father's servants with him to go into Egypt, Hadad being yet a little child. So Hadad and his servants and his father's servants seeing what was going on, seeing David and Joab and Israel down there slaughtering all the Edomites, said, you know what, man, we got to get up out of here. We got to get up out of here. And they went into Egypt to hide. Does that sound familiar? Went into Egypt to hide. Hadad being just a little child. And they arose out of Midian and came to Param, and they took men with them out of Param, and they came to Egypt. So, while they on their way to Egypt, Midian stopped by Midian and Paran, and they gathered some troops there. They strengthened themselves a little bit there, gathered some troops, and then came to Egypt unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, which gave him an house and appointed him with victuals and gave him land. All right, so Hadad, this child Edomite, done came there to Egypt. He's from a royal lineage, and the Pharaoh gave him a house, appointed him victuals, gave him food, and gave him land. Gave him a Goshen. And Hadad found great favor in the sight of Pharaoh. And see, this is the Most High laying up. It said the Most High raised up him an adversary. This is the Most High laying up this adversary, laying up this vessel that he's going to use to punish Israel because of Solomon. So that he gave him to wife the sister of his own wife, the sister of Taphanes, the queen. And the sister of Taphanes bare him Genubath, his son, whom Taphanes weaned in Pharaoh's house, and Genubath was in Pharaoh's household among the sons of Pharaoh. All right, now Hadad done, he was born as a royal king in Edom. Now, the Most High has preserved him to be an adversary against Solomon. So a few of them done went, they in Egypt, they in getting the royal treatment in Egypt. Pharaoh is done brought him into the family here, man. You can marry my wife's sister. Take her. And then them kids, they together, he treating them like that's my nephew. And so they kids is growing up together, playing around the royal lineage. Sound familiar? Verse 21. And when Hadad heard in Egypt that David slept with his fathers, what that mean? David dead. And that Joab, the captain of hosts, was dead. All right. David and Joab. I need both of them dead. Once he heard that, Hadad said to Pharaoh, let me depart that I may go to my own country. Hadad ain't forgot. Hadad ain't forgot, man. He still has those visuals as a child, seeing all his people getting slaughtered, seeing Joab and King David down there and all of Israel slaughtering all the males. And him having to flee for his life to keep that royal lineage going. And now that he's done gathered strength, and now he hears that David is dead, King David's dead, and his captain is dead. Man, we gotta go. I gotta go back. We gotta go back. We gotta go back and get vengeance for what this joker done did. Then Pharaoh said unto him, but what hast thou lacked with me? Behold, thou seekest to go to thine own country. Like Pharaoh, like, what, I done laid it out for you. Why you want to go back down there? Why you want to go back to that trash? I done laid this thing out for you. And he answered, nothing, howbeit let me go in anywise. And he said, nothing, but I need to go anyway. You done laid it out for me, but this is something I got to do. And he had to do it because he's a vessel. He's a vessel used by the Most High. The Most High has preserved him from David's wrath so that he can be an adversary to Solomon in Israel. God stirred up, and that was Hadad, right? That was Hadad the Edomite. God stirred up another adversary, Rezon, the son of Eliada, which fled from his lord Hadadezer, king of Zobah. And he gathered men unto him and became captain over a band. All right. Now, Rezon, the son of Eliada, which fled from his lord Hadadezer, king of Zobah. All right. So he fled. He seen what was happening to his king, and he got up out of there. And he gathered men. All right. This is another adversary the Lord is stirring up. He gathered men and became captain over a band. All right. He gathered him some troops, that was scattered about, that seen that foolishness. Well, not foolishness, but seen, them folks getting slaughtered. David out there slaughtering these folks. You know what? And this is Syria. Well, it's gonna tell us this. And gathered men and became over a band when David slew them of Zobah. All right, so David slewing these folks, but at the same time, David slewing them, and the Most High's giving them this victory. The Most High's also preserving and stirring up an adversary. And stirring up an adversary and making what they call it, giving it that villain narrative. How there's like a story of how someone good turns bad. Watching their children get slaughtered. It's one of my favorite movies of recent was that last Joker movie. I know they're making a part 2 now, and I don't even really want to see the part 2 because I feel like it's just gonna mess up the part 1. It's not gonna live up to what part 1 did, but it showed how Joker became Joker. It gave him the villain story, and this is pretty much what we're reading here when he's talking about raising up an adversary. Where we at, man? We lost our place, y'all. Come on. We'll read 24. And he gathered men unto him and became a captain over a band when David slew them of Zobah. And they went to Damascus and dwelt therein and reigned in Damascus. And you see, he's putting these people in rulership. All right. He's stirring up an adversary. He's stirring up kings. All right, he's stirring up kings. That go back to that Romans 13:1 about, obeying these people that are over you, because, all of that stuff has been put into place by the Most High. Like he's putting all these pieces into place. Verse 25. And he was an adversary to Israel all the days of Solomon, beside the mischief that Hadad did. So he raised up two jokers hitting them from both sides. Beside the mischief that Hadad did, and he abhorred Israel and reigned over Syria. And Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, do we want to read this? I think that's all we want, y'all. I think that is all we want. Yeah, that's all we want. All right. So that verse 25, and he was an adversary to Israel all the days of Solomon, beside the mischief that Hadad did, and he abhorred Israel and reigned over Syria. And that's pretty much what we gleaning from, is that the Most High will raise up an adversary against you and put him in a position to hurt you. All right, you got that unrepentant heart. You don't want to give credit to nobody else. You done messed around and lost sight of the Most High. Lost sight of his ways. You're abusing your authority. The Most High will raise up an adversary and put him in a position to hurt you. So be mindful, fear the Lord. Pray this thing was edifying. Love him with all thine heart. And we'll see y'all on the next one. Shalom.